The second she said it, everything around me didn't just get quiet. It felt like the world folded in on itself, like something powerful had suddenly burned out. We were standing in the kitchen at 2:13 a.m. The same kitchen where her brother and I had spent years laughing without thinking twice. The place where we celebrated exam results, stayed up watching late-night games, and argued about whose turn it was to wash the dishes. But that night, nothing felt the same. Her voice shook. Her hands clutched the edge of the counter like it was the only thing keeping her standing. She looked like someone holding back a storm inside her chest. Then she whispered the words that changed everything. "Can we try?" And in that instant, every memory I had buried came rushing back, faster than I could handle. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strange way love sometimes grows where you never expect it, take a second to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, send it to someone who might need a little hope today, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us what it means to be human. My answer came out before I had time to think. Sometimes the truth hides in the place where fear can't reach. Love always starts somewhere. But ours began in the worst way possible. I had known her since she was 13. Back then she was quiet, almost invisible. She used to sit on the stairs while her brother and I played video games in the living room. She pretended she wasn't watching us laugh until we couldn't breathe. To me she was just my best friend's little sister. The girl who brought us tea without anyone asking. The one who remembered which snacks I liked. The kid who never interrupted our conversations but somehow understood everything anyway. I never noticed the exact moment she grew up. Or maybe I did, and chose to ignore it. Because some boundaries are not meant to blur. Life felt simple then. Until it suddenly wasn't. 3 years ago, her brother, my best friend, the closest thing I ever had to a real family, died in a car crash on a rainy Tuesday evening. 1 minute he was texting me stupid memes. The next, I was standing in a hospital hallway that smelled like antiseptic and sorrow, identifying his body. Something inside me broke that night. And I never truly fixed it. After the funeral, I stopped going to their house. Every room held memories of him. Every memory felt like a wound I couldn't handle. I couldn't face the silent questions in his mother's eyes. I couldn't walk past his bedroom door, still untouched, like a shrine to a life that ended too soon. And her. I avoided her more than anyone. Because when I looked at her, I saw the same pain I carried inside myself. Months went by. Then a year. Then another. I buried myself in work, in noise, in anything that kept my mind busy. Anything that stopped me from remembering. But grief doesn't disappear. It leaks through the cracks. No matter how far I tried to run, my mind always returned to that night. The rain. The phone call. The silence afterward. Until one evening, everything shifted. I ran into her at a bookstore. She wasn't the same quiet girl from the staircase anymore. She had grown into someone stronger, someone steady. She carried her pain with a kind of quiet grace. But the sadness was still there, hidden in the corners of her smile. Our greeting was awkward, like two strangers trying to remember a language they once spoke. Then she said something I never expected. She told me she didn't blame me. I hadn't realized how much guilt I had been carrying until that moment. Guilt for not convincing him to stay home that night. For not calling again when he didn't answer. For still being alive when he wasn't. Her forgiveness wasn't dramatic. It was soft. Almost fragile. But it cracked the walls I had built around my heart. After that, we started seeing each other sometimes. First coffee. Then long walks. We talked about him, about memories we had both been too afraid to touch. She laughed at stories I thought would make her cry. And she cried at moments I had always thought were funny. Slowly, painfully, we began healing. Not alone. But together. Still, healing is never simple. There were nights when the silence between us felt too close. Too heavy. Too full of something neither of us dared to say. Nights when her hand brushed mine and stayed there just a little longer than it should have. Nights when I wondered what it would feel like to hold her, and immediately hated myself for thinking it. She was my best friend's sister. She was supposed to be off limits. She was a reminder of everything I had lost. And yet, she was the only person who truly understood. The moment I realized I was in serious trouble came when she got sick. I found myself sitting beside her hospital bed, more scared than I had been since the night her brother died. Watching her sleep under the bright hospital lights, pale and fragile, something hit me hard. If I lost her too, it would destroy me all over again. I left before she woke up that day. Because running from the truth felt easier than admitting it. After that, I tried to create distance. I cancelled plans, ignored her messages, told myself it was the right thing, for her family, for the memory of the friend who had trusted me with everything. But the distance only made things worse. Every day without her felt heavier. Like drowning in silence. And that's how we ended up back in that kitchen at 2:13 a.m. She showed up without warning. Her eyes were red from crying. Her voice shook as she spoke. She said she was tired of pretending. Tired of always being strong. Tired of losing people. Tired of wondering what might have happened if she had just been brave enough to ask. And then she finally asked? Could we try? Could we take the broken pieces of our past and build something new from them? My first instinct was to say no. To protect her from gossip. From judgment. From people saying loving me meant betraying him. But when I looked at her, something became clear. We weren't replacing him. We were surviving him. Love doesn't erase grief. It grows around it, the way flowers push through cracked concrete. So I told her the only truth I knew. Love always starts somewhere. Sometimes with friendship. Sometimes with loss. Sometimes with two people standing in the same storm, refusing to let go of each other. It wasn't easy after that. When her mother found out, she didn't speak to me for weeks. Old friends questioned our intentions. Some said it was wrong. Others called it desperate. There were days I wondered if they were right. Maybe we were just two broken people holding on to each other because we didn't know how to stand alone. But then there were mornings when she smiled at me over coffee, and for the first time in years, I felt hope instead of pain. Evenings when we visited his grave together. Not just as mourners stuck in the past, but as survivors learning how to live with it. We talked about him often. Not as a wall between us, but as the bridge that had brought us here. And little by little, the guilt began to fade. If you've made it this far and this story reminds you of someone you lost, or someone who helped you heal when you thought you never would, take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe for more stories that speak straight to the heart. Because love doesn't always arrive at the perfect time. Sometimes it shows up in the middle of grief. Sometimes it hides inside friendship. And sometimes it simply asks, very quietly, if it's allowed to stay. Before we finish, I have one small request. Comment the word somewhere. If you believe every love story has a beginning, even the ones born from pain. We still miss him. I don't think that will ever change. But now, when it rains on a Tuesday evening, it no longer feels like the world is ending. Instead, it feels like a reminder. Storms always pass. And when they do, they leave behind a sky wide enough for new beginnings. Because love always starts somewhere.